Hello and welcome back to Let's Play Wrath of the Righteous with me, Break It Dawn. Now let's try to make our way to the flesh markets without too much more happening. Here we go. Now, welcome to the flesh markets, the best place to buy living, healthy flesh. So it is a slave market, but they sell a lot of other really good items. But don't worry, we'll come back here later and purge the place. Abar Jark, no. Master Sarzak Sis is delighted to behold Lady Aasimar and Lady Shamira. It is a great honor for him. How may he assist you? Aasimar is looking to buy some slaves. The best slaves. It's for an important job. Bark Tarber Glek. Allow me to present this fine specimen. An extraordinarily belligerent, destructive, and vicious slave. He killed 7 hunters before his capture. Shut your mouth, meatball. Your breath stinks. I don't need gladiators or bodyguards. I'm looking for a pack of strong demons. Ones who are not very bright and can obey orders. Vrox something. In that case, perhaps my lady would be interested in this batch of creatures recently captured in the lower city. They are all strong and quite stupid. Aasimar, what do you want with these puny creatures? They're small fry. They only to be cannon fodder for the Crusaders. I would suggest... They seem fine to me. Finish the preparations, then send them to the harem of ardent dreams, and be quick about it. This guy again. A dark-haired young man stares up at the ugly lump of flesh hovering in the air. Hello up there. I am blinded by your beauty. Please, descend to this humble mortal, and grant me the honor of a date with you. Beauty, are you out of your mind? The young man smiles, and raises a finger to his lips. Don't worry, he whispers. I know what I'm doing. The demon gives an indignant snort, and begins to gurgle angrily. His tiefling slave translates. Master Sarzaxis says you have 10 seconds to get out of his sight, or he'll command his lackeys to gouge out your eyes. Alright, I can take a hint. I'm leaving. The young man backs away and jots something down in his notebook. We'll see him later. Alright, we have Kerz over here. Well, let's start with this.
A bright future awaits us.
Have to go back up here.
Call me again if you need to.
The flesh markets are one of the largest slave markets in the Abyss. Since the opening of the World Wound, has been flooded with captives from Golarion. Alright, we'll talk to Kerz. He is not a merchant. I mentioned earlier there's a few ship captains we'll meet, and he's one of them. A tough-looking demon with a rough, cruel face and the hands of a seasoned warrior greets you with a grin. Looking to buy slaves, eh? Me? I just sold off the shipment I captured during the last raid. I am Kerz, Captain of the Bloody Witch. Who are you? The demon stares at you in disbelief, then bursts into laughter. Who am I? I'm Kerz, known by some as Kerz Got Stabbed, Captain of the legendary Bloody Witch. I'm the most famous darn pirate... sorry, I lost my place. in the Midnight Isles. You must be a landlubber who's never set foot aboard an airship if you haven't heard of me. You can travel to faraway lands whenever you want, but you choose to be a pirate. Only a real scumbag would waste that kind of freedom on robbery and murder. Aye, lad, the scummiest. Do you know my Lara? That nut job? Huh. Her entire crew must be wimps and weaklings. They haven't slit such a leader's throat or fed her to Ishiar's beasts yet. You can't help but notice that despite Kerz's dramatic bravado, a spark of fear gleams in his eyes. Tell me more about being a pirate. What exactly do you want to know? The life of a pirate ship captain consists of 4 things: his vessel, his crew, his experience, and Pazuzu's patronage, of course. You already have wings of your own. Why do you need a flying ship? Kerz eyes you with suspicion, as if searching for signs of mockery in your face. Sure. What do you propose I do with all the loot carried on my back? What about the slaves we tuck into the cargo hold? The ship is a big flying treasure chest, and it also provides a fair amount of cover from arrows and spells that rain down on us during boardings. Tell me about your vessel. Kerz grins proudly. You recognize my bloody witch right away by the huge skull decorating her prow. We secured that trophy near Vazglar, and there was a great fight for it. A few other captains wanted to lay their hands on it as well. Aside from the skull, I've done good work on the bloody witch. You can't find a better attack vessel. Her broadside can take a dragon strike, her 3/4 sails can catch any wind, and her ballistae don't rely on lousy spears, only alchemical fire. Her broadside can take a dragon strike. That's fortuitous. But what kind of crew do you have on board? The toughest rogues and cutthroats you could ever want. In my handpicked collection, each one as bad as the next. They're the most notorious rabble, the most infamous scoundrels you could ever find in the Abyss. They'd sell their own mothers into slavery for a chipped copper. Turn on me? Never. Nobody else could land them a better deal than I can. If they ditched me, they would make it 3 steps before taking a knife in the back. So they've got no choice but to follow me till the end. So how many ships have you plundered? Puffing out his chest a little, the demon offers a feigned and leering grin, then answers with all the cutthroat swagger he can muster. The Bloody Witch is well known in the Midnight Isles, and her black sail sows terror wherever she goes. I can't count how many poor sods I've sent to Dagon. I was leading the charge, saber in hand, back in the days when Velexia was flashing her bare breast to the skies of Alushinyrra, and when Zyphorian, the old rapscallion, ruled the city. As for loot, the treasures that have passed through my hands, I spent them all on booze. Kerz beams with pride at this declaration. Tell me a thrilling tale. The pirate grins. You like gory stories, eh? Fine. Once we were floating by Magorg, or My Gorge, it doesn't matter, and when our lookout spotted the wreckage of a ship caught in a hurricane. So we decided to search for cargo, but instead, we only found a sailor who was clutching at the wreckage. We fished him out, brought him to his senses, hung him up on the mast, and questioned him properly. Our ship's cook knows how to loosen tongues with his knife. Long story short, the poor sod spilled that he was a pirate himself. His ship had set sail from one of Alir's deserted islands, where they hid part of their spoils. We smelled a windfall, so we rushed to Alir. But Alir, that place isn't for the faint-hearted. Predatory vines, carnivorous flowers that breathe out clouds of poisonous pollen, and walking bushes that surround you, pounce on you, and sting you with thorns till you die. Oh, did I mention toxic springs, or the flies that crawl into your ears while you sleep, lay their eggs inside your brain, driving you insane? All in all, the place was a nightmare. We found ourselves right in the middle of it all. 3 times our prisoner told us where to check for the stash. Each time we dug, but all we found was dirt and bones. By the 3rd attempt, that darned island had already wiped out half the crew. We realized that jerk was playing us, so we gutted him. You know what we saw then? All his entrails were covered with whitish mold and overgrown with some spongy fungus. His heart, his guts, his brain. The gunk was everywhere. According to our ship's dock, that fungus controlled every one of the sailor's steps. He got infected on Alir. Then he left the island to lure in fresh fodder for the plants. We fled as fast as we could, but for a long, long time. I couldn't believe those darn weeds got so smart they were able to trick us. You mentioned Pazuzu quite often. Well, once. Do you worship him? Sure I do. Only total idiots don't worship the demon lord of the sky and winged creatures. Well, at least if we're talking about aeronauts. All the storms, wind currents, and beasts who feed on those currents, they all bend to his will. That's why I bombard Lord Pazuzu with my prayers as often as I can. I have no more questions. You asked too many already, stranger. I have to go. May Pazuzu fill your sails with wind, stranger, but no more than mine. Dyunk the Slave Trader. What a name. A grotesquely fat demon speaks to a demoness standing in front of him, his voice irritated, yet slightly sycophonic. Or sycophonic. If you want to get these sweet aasimars for the 10,000 delights, cough up 50,000. Just look at how delicious they are. These girls haven't yet been whipped. Your clients will be clamoring for them. And after they become too worn out, they make a magnificent stew. I give you 30 if you stop talking rubbish, Dyunk. Or keep going, and you can steer clear of my palace of delights. You can pleasure yourself on your own, you fat chunk of rotten meat. You want to get on Shavara's bad side. Do you really want that? The Aasimar slaves standing nearby try to avoid looking at the angry demoness. Even in their miserable position, they retain the mark of inner purity and nobility inherent to their kind. Puffing himself up, the fat demon answers abruptly and angrily. 50,000. For these delightful, innocent creatures your shabby and worn-out demonesses can't hope to compete with. That is my final offer. Stay away from the 10,000 delights. You can have your own little morsels pleasure you from now on, you greedy, horny piece of crap. The disgustingly fleshy demon greets you with a wave, his arm encased in roll after roll of fat. I'm going to present my living wares. The finest household slaves to serve you and entertain your body and spirit. And they can satiate even the most exquisite cravings. The demon accompanies his last claim with voluptuous, lip-smacking, looking pleased. What were you arguing about with that demoness? She wanted to buy my beautiful aasimar concubines for her palace of pleasures, the 10,000 delights. Unfortunately, her common sense and good taste couldn't compete with her greed. She offered me a paltry price, next to nothing, instead of gratefully paying the full sum for these slaves. Offering 30,000 for a group of innocent, pure aasimars shipped here with the utmost care. No one has laid a single finger on them. No one has taken a single bite out of them. It's simply outrageous. Who are you? I'm Dyunk, the slave trader. When I was younger and much slimmer, I was a dashing raider. I spent my days abducting concubines from other planes for the harems of the most powerful lords of the abyss. My experience, however, has shown me that raising and training pleasure slaves from an early age is a much more profitable and much less risky business. That's why I now own the largest, most respectable slave farm, where I breed representatives of various races from different planes. Though I haven't entirely given up the raiding. His deceptively slow movements and soft folds of flesh fail to hide the powerful muscles beneath. This demon can lift a wagon with 2 horses by himself. Show me what you have for sale. Just feast your eyes on them. Most exquisite pleasure slaves raised in comfort and luxury at your service. They're well-trained, neat, docile, as they're ready to become ideal servants for your manor. All of them are young and healthy, in a perfect state of ripeness. The demon bursts into sickening cackling, and whispers to you confidentially. Of course, we have made sure that their tender flesh meets the expectations of even the most demanding gourmet. They have no inkling of what awaits them, so you need not worry about fear spoiling the meat, making it tough and bitter. Beautiful, athletic, and well-groomed young men and women of different races smile sweetly at you. Their cheerful looks aren't marred by the slightest hint of intelligence. These slaves remind you of happy and well-fed sheep grazing in the pasture. The slaver's eyes widen and he starts to speak, nearly hyperventilating. Just recently, one of my slave hunting crews returned, bringing me a most beautiful gift. A group of young, fresh, pure aasimar girls, full of mouth-watering innocence. All of them are beauties in their prime, caught with the utmost care, unwounded. Shamira will take an interest in them, I wager. Because of her origin, she loves having her fun with aasimars. There are countless ways one can use such a valuable acquisition, though if you ask me, the smartest way is to treat yourself to a medium-rare fillet with rich, meaty gravy. The aasimar women look pale and scared. Even in captivity, they manage to retain their dignity and refuse to let the demons savor their fear. As Dyunk continues his nauseating commentary, they raise their chins higher and do their best to maintain cold, detached expressions. Address the pleasure slaves. Don't you get it? You're going to be eaten. The pleasure slaves erupt in frightened exclamations. Whimpering pathetically, they turn their trusted gazes on the demon. Some have tears gleaming in their eyes. One of the slaves builds up enough courage to respond to you, petulantly retorting, "What are you talking about? We're slaves intended for exquisite pleasures, not livestock. Our job is to please and satisfy the tastes of the most influential and mighty demons, to entertain them, and to be their pets. Who would kill such a valuable asset just for food?" Hey, what do you think you're doing? Stop messing with the heads of my sweet little pets. Daddy Dyunk loves you all, and he'd never eat you. Isn't that right, my sweeties? They're fattening you up like pigs for slaughter. They're demons. They eat people like you. Animalistic terror distorts their beautiful faces. Staring at you with childish accusation, Dyunk's pets start wailing and jostling one another. Somebody's gonna attack me. Dyunk slowly maneuvers his massive body toward the nearest slave. A slender young boy with long fair hair and soft features. A lazy swipe of the demon's claw. The boy's lower jaw disappears and blood starts gushing from the terrible crimson cavern where his jaw used to be. The boy blinks in dumb bewilderment, then a wild bestial howl erupts from his throat as he falls. Demons wearing wolfish grins crowd in from every corner of the market, savoring every moment of their victim's helplessness. Darn it, I'm asking you to tell these idiots the truth. They're like cattle. They go wherever they're led until they see the butcher's knife.
Can we retreat already?
Alright, good. That's what I wanted to have
You've
happen.
crossed the wrong mongrel.
Don't hold back!
Let's get a haste out as well. And maybe a dispel magic. Alright, so we'll probably take out
Might be trap, might be treasure.
one merchant at a time. I've read that before.
Skills are absolute.
Hi, Adventure Captain Gristoff. A lean old man with his back as stiff as a pikestaff casts a piercing look at you. His gray hair and luxurious sideburns grant him an imposing and significant demeanor. Greetings. I am Count Gristoff Rolano. I have the honor of serving as Venture Captain of the Pathfinder Society, heading the branch of the society in Alushinyrra and its adjacent territories. If you need the services of Pathfinders, I can be of assistance. Casting a sharp look at you, Gristoff hands you a sealed letter. I admit, your appearance here did not surprise me, because I recently received this letter. It is addressed to you, and I've held in anticipation of your arrival. What's in it? The tone of the Venture Captain is cold, like it's just been delivered from the crown of the world. I'm not in the habit of reading letters addressed to others, and I have no idea why you would think otherwise. However, knowing Venture Captain Hylor, I assume that it's about his persistent vendetta against a dangerous sorcerer called the Spinner of Nightmares. How did Hylor deliver this letter to you? Gristoff smiles with amusement. The Pathfinder Society has many agents across many different planes. They, along with a touch of magic, provide us with the most widespread and effective mail delivery service you can imagine. Take the letter. Handing you the letter, Gristoff offers a formal nod. My duty has been done. I need a skilled partner. I have many opportunists here, all eager to thank the Pathfinder Society for saving them from slavery. I'll recommend you competent fighters in return for a symbolic donation to our mission. War is like gold in our line. What do you have? You have so many gold coins depending on my level. That amount is unacceptable. 1,000 pardons, but surely you understand. Slaves are brought to market every day. It's never ending. The gold simply slips through our fingers. Without donations, our mission will be a failure. I want to help the society by providing funds. The society has fixed charity rates, preventing corruption. I personally find this practice very wise. A donation for the prisoners of the Abyss is 50,000 gold coins. The price is high. If we'll give freedom to the unfortunate, so be it. Base profit is not worth more than a life. Give Gristoff Rolano 50,000 gold coins. Handle this gold wisely. Now it is important that if you want a certain outcome later in the game, you do have to take the Hand of the Inheritor's advice. The Count respectfully takes the money from your hands. The Pathfinder Society is grateful for your help, Commander. The unfortunate folk enslaved by demons will glorify your name throughout the Abyss. Tell me about yourself. I am a noble, a good Asmodean, and a Pathfinder, who earn the honor of being sent with the most unwanted task to the most repulsive point in the world, and ready to provide you with a few good fighters. What else are you interested in? Who are you? The man lifts his chin and carefully strokes his amazing sideburns. Gristoff Rolano of Long March, the hereditary Count of Cheliax and venture captain of the Pathfinder Society, at your service. The Pathfinder Society has long planned to open a branch of the Abyss. For obvious reasons, such an appointment didn't make anyone especially happy. However, as people of honor, we Pathfinders in my lodge couldn't let squeamishness stand in the way of duty. All of us volunteered for this mission. And then this Decumvirate chose me as the most suitable candidate. Glad that doesn't roll off the tongue like Triumvirate does. Why were you sent to the Abyss? The venture captain shrugs. To buy slaves, of course. Or rather, redeem slaves. The Pathfinder Society sent me to provide help to dwellers of Golarion who have been enslaved by demons. Every day, I go to the slave market with a bag of gold, and I return to our shelter with a crowd of poor folks, whose freedom I managed to buy. Unfortunately, there are always too many slaves and too little gold. We send the ones we save to Golarion. Some of them are opportunists and fighters, who are unlucky enough to be imprisoned. They are grateful to the Society, and are ready to provide services to repay us for their rescue. When people who are looking for mercenaries contact me, my charges go to serve them, and the payment for their services fills our coffers for continued redemption of slaves. What you do is merciful. I personally think that an enemy has to be fought against, not traded with. But the management of the Pathfinder Society did not heed my advice. But what's it like, living in the Abyss? Gristoff scans the landscape slowly, with dignity, and then says demurely, Abominable. The Abyss is a savage place, where everything that can be designed in a wrong way is. Everything is clear. If you have any other questions, please contact me, Commander. I have to go. Have a good day, Commander. Alright, letter given by Gristoff. The letter appears in the rough but legible handwriting of a person who doesn't write often. Greetings, Commander. I'm sorry to bother you with any requests when you're busy with a difficult and dangerous mission, but my situation is extremely serious. I found the trail of the Spinner of Nightmares. Her agent in Nerosian fell into our hands and revealed during interrogation the last known lair of the Spinner was in Alushinyrra, in a block called the 10,000 Delights. Knowing the habits of the Spinner of Nightmares, I'm inclined to believe that she used to live in the heart of a giant brothel. My poor Lori might still languish in this horrible place. I'm begging you to look for her or any traces of the Spinner. We'll do what we can. The aasimars no longer look broken. Hope has brought the pale glow of heavenly fire to their eyes. One of the women clutches a hairpin that by some miracle went unnoticed by the guards, resembling a gleaming stiletto. It ends in a rather vicious-looking point. With their expressions alone, the slaves send a clear message. How dare come near us? We stand ready to defend ourselves. Help us, kind sir. We know you're no stranger to compassion and mercy. Your aura warms our hearts like the sun of our beloved Golarion. But what is this aura that you sense? We don't know. We just sense it. We're no sorceresses. We're guided by our senses alone. But as soon as you appeared, we're touched by bright, clean energies, and we knew you for a friend. We heard about something like this. A horrible demon. Our master called him the Echo. Wanted to buy us and use us to find a stranger from Golarion. A stranger who's surrounded by a benevolent light wherever he goes. They failed to agree on a price, So the terrible demon left, spitting curses. What a relief. He was worse than anyone else we've seen here. Perhaps these poor wretched souls sense my presence. The blood of heaven runs through their veins, and our kinship reveals itself. What dire news they bring. The Echo of Discari, an avatar of our sworn enemy, does not cease his attempts to get to me. Is there anything else you can tell me about the demon named the Echo? Do you know where he came from, or where he went? Pointing over there. He moves around by teleportation, like many other demons. He appeared out of nowhere, then he vanished again. What else? Before he left, he told our master something like, "If you change your mind, come and bow to me in my home," and toss something to him. The master had the thing among his belongings over there. The woman indicates the direction. Explain how to get to the Nexus. Go to my camp. It's safe there. The aasimar women look at you, their expressions piercing. You see a mixture of gratitude and awe in their eyes. Thank you, stranger. We did not expect any help in this terrible place. We will not forget it. You did a noble thing when you did not abandon the weak in their hour of need. You have my deepest respect. Now we got a single-use key to the Echo's lair. This key is made from an unknown material. It opens portals created by the Echo of Discari. The key feels extremely fragile, as if it were designed to disintegrate after a single use. And boots of wary steps. These boots grant its wearer blind sight with a radius of 10 feet, and a plus 10 competence bonus on stealth checks. Looks a little silly, but sure. Alright, so the flesh markets, we haven't actually found in the merchants yet. There's several merchants here that sell really good pieces of equipment, but they all have conversations. There'll be a lot of talking here as well. So we'll probably spend a couple episodes here going through inventories and having conversations. And probably a few fights. But for now, I am going to call it here, and next time we'll continue around the flesh markets. So thanks for watching. Hope to see you guys in the next one.